welcome back to another video. This is going to be a sit down and chat video because I wanted to discuss about Clara and how she's feeling about my relationship and the move to America, should everything go through, and also how it has been being in this relationship and how Clara has taken it and what's going to happen and what does she want and everything. So it's kind of ironic that I'm sat in her bedroom at the moment, but she's got a really comfortable gaming chair that is very good and very wide for my big bum. So with that, let's start from the beginning. Right, so I always think that when you are a single mom and you're a child that is born into a single parent family, and I was a child that was born into a single parent family, it is very difficult to adjust when someone new comes into that dynamic, that family dynamic. And I know from my own childhood, if my mom had boyfriends, I didn't like it. And then when she was in a proper relationship where they frequently coming to the house or we would have to go out, I would not like it. One of the reasons I didn't like it was I have a memory in my head where we went to Warwick Castle, which is a beautiful castle. Warwick is beautiful because we lived in Birmingham, and I can't even remember who the guy was now, but I just remember them holding hands and I didn't like that. And I remember thinking, oh my God, people are going to think he's my dad and he's not my dad. And I was really funny about male role figures in my life. And I don't know, it kind of made me feel repulsive. That's how I used to think. That's how I used to feel. I used to feel repulsed by it. I didn't like it. I didn't like the fact that how I would be viewed by people that they would think that he was my dad or something. It was very, very strange. And I don't know, because the only male role figure in my life when I was a child that was permanent was my grandfather, and he was abusive. So I had a very negative outward view of men, definitely. And my own dad wasn't around. And when I was a teenager, I learned why he wasn't around and that he left, basically. He didn't want anything to do with me growing up. So it was always very difficult relationships, and when my mum would be in a relationship. And it was very hard to adjust. So I understand why Clara would find that very difficult. And also with Clara, the way I brought her up was she was never exposed to any, not that I had meant, there was only really one significant relationship that Clara was really aware of. She knew I dated, like I would go on dates, or I might see somebody 3 or 4 times and then it would be over. But there was only really one significant relationship with her growing up, and she's 15 now, and Dustin is the second significant relationship. So she's never been exposed to having men come to the house. She's never been exposed to that. Whenever I used to go on dates, sometimes I would go in the week and she would go to my mum's for a couple of hours. But if there was something that I would see that person again and then again and then again, I would always do that on the weekends when I didn't have Clara, so she'd be at her dad's. I never wanted her exposed to different men coming in to our lives and then just leaving. I didn't think that is healthy. I don't think it's healthy, and I don't want to normalize that behavior, because for me, I still hold on to that belief that actually the right way is, you know, to find somebody that means the world to you and that you get on with, you have a laugh with, you can be immature with, but you're loving with, and you have a really healthy relationship with somebody that's your equal. I think that is vitally important. And to me, the right way should be to find that person and then have children together and raise them together. And then you watch your kids go on and have their lives and then have children, and that should be the right way to do it. And I didn't have that, and that's one of my biggest regrets in life. I know, in fact, it actually makes me really emotional, because I wanted that more than anything in the world, was to find my soulmate and have children, a proper life, a proper family life. And I feel like I've been cheated of that, and I feel like I should have had that. So anyway, I will take a moment, because that's quite an emotional topic for me, and I've gone off topic. Oh, I don't know why I started thinking like that. But anyway, so let's get back on topic. So I don't know why I went down a different side street. Let's stick to Main Street. So yeah, so I was always conscious of not exposing Clara to that kind of thing. Anyway, so back in 2021, I started talking to Dustin, and Clara was fine with it. I was very open what I was doing and the reasons why I was doing it. I've always been very open with Clara about things, because I believe that's the right way to be if it's appropriate. So she knew it was kind of a friendly thing. And then I remember showing her the video where Dustin put my photo as a screensaver. And
so I told you I'd come back and I'd show you my screensaver. So yeah, I didn't have to work today, so I'm back. But here you go. See? That's a screensaver. These are the little tablets they give us. They don't have cameras on them, though. They got a place for them, but they don't. So yeah, there she is. But thank you so much.
And I opened it, and Clara was there when I opened it, and I went, oh my god, because I was like so like mortified and embarrassed, and like I was taken aback. And I don't even know at that point that we'd agreed that we were boyfriend and girlfriend. I don't think so. But anyway, I opened it up and I was like laughing, and I was mortified, I was embarrassed, and Clara started laughing, and she found it hilarious. Where it changed was when me and Dustin decided to be boyfriend and girlfriend and enter this relationship. But it is a relationship, wasn't it? And that was where the issue started. So Clara wasn't accepting from that point, and then I kind of told her some of the stuff he'd done, so she was very against him, and she was over the coming years. And I think as well, with hormonal changes and becoming a teenager as well, all in that time frame period, it has been very difficult. He was never able to call me because she would start shouting. You know, that would be her behaviour. You could not accept a call. If she knew he was texting, she didn't like it at all. It made it very difficult to have communication. So Dustin got out of prison. Things became a lot more easier with communication. Like when he was in prison, he would always call me. The weekends Clara was gone to her dad's. Sometimes he would, when he only had 5-minute calls and where it was limited, I literally just used to try and take the calls when I could. Sometimes I would suddenly rush out with the dog and go, I'm going for a walk, to take the calls. Other times I would jump in the car and speed away, just down to the other side of the village, you know. So I was away. It has been really difficult. It has been really difficult, you know, to have that relationship. I was put in that situation where I would have to go to the other side of the village in the car just to take a call. You know, and any mail as well. Is having to make sure I get to the mail before she can get there, because she would probably rip it up. And the thing is, I get it. I get it. Teenage emotions and not accepting and being angry, because she's like, that's embarrassing, having a stepdad who's done the crimes that he's done, that's embarrassing for me. And I get it. I 100% get where she's coming from. So then I had my trip planned to go to Salt Lake, and Clara wasn't happy about it. She was threatening not to stay at her dad's and not to stay at my mum's, and yeah, well, she did. And I've got to say, I think she handled it very well. I think she was very mature about it. And although I say that, but then her response is like, you know, when you get there, he's going to think you're fat and ugly and not want to be with you. But then she saw the Facebook post, and then she realised that we'd got engaged. And I did try reaching out to her, trying to talk to her, and video message, and she didn't want to talk to me. So the whole time that I was out in Salt Lake, she refused to talk to me. And I know that it would have come as probably a shock to her, and a fear as well. And I understand that it's a fear of having the thought of, oh my God, my mum said yes to him and she's going to plan to live out there, and what's going to happen to me. And I know that that must be a really terrifying experience and feeling, but she wants to come. She wants to come to America. I have obviously sat down with Clara and talked about, what do you want to do? I am very privileged that she is older, and next year she will be 16. So by the time all this would go through, she would be 16. I gave her the option that she could come with me full time to America. She could do 50-50, so she could live half of the year in America on a B2 visa, I think it is, and live half of the year in the UK with her dad, or dividing it with my mum, whatever. Or she could do 25% of the time in America, and then 25% back in the UK, and then 25% again in America. You can do it like that, break it down. Or if she wanted to stay in the UK, she said, no, I want to move to America. And I said, I'm really pleased that that's what you want. And I said, I've really tried to push it from the point of view that, you know, once you get to America, you can start working, you can start to learn to drive, she can have some independence sooner than she could here in the UK. And to see it as an opportunity, like, she really loves acting and she wants to act. And I said, it would be amazing if she could do something like that out there. Like, I'm really trying to look at the positives of it, but I'm also mindful of the fact that it's going to be very difficult for all of us to live together under one roof. And that's something we're all going to have to adjust to, and it's not going to be easy. It really, really isn't. But I'm so glad that she seems to be accepting and more mature now over this. I think she knows that how can I put this? Nothing's going to change the situation. And I think at first she tried to guilt me by saying, you're putting him above me. You're choosing him before choosing me, and you should choose your child first. I brought my daughter up, gave her everything I could, and sometimes more. I feel like I didn't develop career-wise or gone on to pursue careers I wanted to pursue, because that would have involved me not having as much time with Clara, and that was really important for me. It was really important for me to be that mom who turned up at school plays, at every sports day I would go to, every little assembly I would go to, every church performance I would go to. I was always there. That was really important for me, and that meant I was stuck in my job where I was year after year, to give her that stability and know that her mum loved her and was always going to be there, and it was her biggest fan. That was always really important for me. But I have been alone my whole life. I've been in one-sided relationships, toxic relationships. I have never really been truly happy ever with anybody. I've never connected with anybody on every level, and that's where I feel it's different with Dustin. I feel like despite our massive differences in our behaviours and our backgrounds and lifestyles and how we've led our lives and our moral compass, you know, for some reason we just connect. And actually moving forward, and the person Dustin is now, our values and our beliefs and what we want match. They run parallel. Our personalities are very similar. Even though he's like 47 and I'm 45, we're still really young at heart, and we are immature sometimes, and I don't want to be growing old, and I still want to recapture my youth because I feel like I didn't really have it, and especially with somebody in a relationship. But then we can have be deep and have the most random of conversations, and they go in, I know Dustin said they go in all different directions, and it really, really does, and I've never had that before. And I am coming out of my shell, because I was a very reserved person. I am a very reserved person to a certain degree, and especially in relationships, you know. But Dustin is able to help me break down that as well, and that's a good thing. That's a really good thing. So before I start going off on a different route again, let's stick to the topic. So as to what Clara's dad, so I messaged him, I think 2 weeks after I came back from Salt Lake. I think it was something like that. So I messaged him, I told him, like, I've got something to tell you. I'm in a relationship with an American, and I'm engaged, and I plan to move out there next year, should all the immigration go through, and we're making the application in January. That was what I told him. And I said, look, I want to give you the heads up so that you can talk to Clara, and you can talk about how you feel about it and what you want to do, you know. And basically he came back and said, whatever Clara's decision is, I will support. And she's always got a home here in the UK. That was his response. I thought I might have a bit of resistance there, but I think because she's going to be 16, I mean, technically you can go and join the army at 16 here. So, you know, really it is Clara's decision. So yeah, that's where we're at. Clara's made a decision. I think Clara said to her dad, I think I've got more opportunities in America. But that's the whole situation. And I would say to anybody that's in a situation like I was, where your child is against it, as a couple, me and Dustin have stayed strong. We have stuck there, and he's been like, I'm not going anywhere. You have to, I think you do need quite a strong relationship to keep it going, and you know, you may face all that resistance, but at the end of the day, your children are going to grow up. And like I said, Clara's 16. In a couple of years, she will probably, I don't know, whether she goes to uni or goes to college or builds a business, or, you know, wants to go and move into a little studio because she's working full-time, she wants to be independent. Whatever she decides, she is going to be moving into a new phase in her life in a couple of years, and start forming her foundations for her future and meeting someone. And I don't want to be on my own, and I certainly don't want to lose the person that has, how can I put it, has just added so much value to my life and to me, and changed me as a person, and made me believe that I'm okay. I'm all right. I am a little bit attractive to somebody, that I'm acceptable. I'm okay as I am, and I am valued and I am loved, and I haven't felt that, and I don't want to lose that. And I certainly don't want to go into the next phase in my life alone. So, you know, I wasn't going to give this relationship up despite people's judgment or disliking of it. It's my life and it's my decision, and I have a right to be happy as well, because I have made a lot of sacrifices. And it's okay to be happy and have a relationship, even if you've got kids. It doesn't mean you're neglecting or not loving your children. I am always there. I always try to be present for Clara. Yeah. So that's where we're at, and I just thought I would do this video, and I'm sorry it's so long, and I hope you continue to follow this journey with me and Dustin, and where it may lead. I don't know why I said that. I still think it's that like immigration will stop us, and it's like, then what? But we'll find a way, because love should conquer everything, shouldn't it? Anyway, I want to say take care, you know, make the most of your lives, and love the people around you that love you, and never take love for granted, and never take people's kindness for granted. And I will see you in the next video, and me and Dustin will see you in the next video. Goodbye, everybody.